Maya Chen watched the crystalline spires of the Vesperin detention facility shimmer against the violet sky of Proxima VI, her wrists bound in front of her with pulsing energy restraints. The transport ship's engines hummed beneath her feet as it made its final approach. Everything was going according to plan. High Inquisitor Zextal stood before her, his iridescent scales catching the light as he studied her with compound eyes. His mandibles clicked in what she recognized as amusement. Another human soldier who thought she could infiltrate our territory. Your kind never learns. Maya kept her expression neutral, letting her shoulders slump in apparent defeat. She'd spent months crafting this persona. The decorated but ultimately expendable Earth Force captain who'd been caught trying to gather intelligence on Vesperin fleet movements. The truth was far more interesting. Processing Subject 2-71, announced one of the guards as they docked. Human female, captured in Restricted Sector 9. Preliminary scans show basic military augmentations, nothing exceptional. Maya suppressed a smile. Their scanners hadn't detected the quantum neural mesh woven through her cerebral cortex or the surveillance systems integrated into her optical nerves. Earth's best technology, hidden beneath layers of false readings and biological camouflage. The Vesperins were thorough, she'd give them that. But they were also arrogant, convinced of their technological superiority. It made them predictable. The guards marched her through endless corridors of gleaming metal and pulsing energy fields. Maya memorized every turn, every security checkpoint, building a perfect map in her enhanced memory. The facility was impressive, supposedly the most secure detention center in the Vesperin Empire. It housed their most valuable prisoners and their most closely guarded secrets. That's why she was here. The real reason, beyond the carefully constructed cover story. Somewhere in this facility was proof of what Earth's intelligence services had long suspected. The Vesperins were preparing for a massive invasion of human space. They needed that proof to convince the neutral species to stand with humanity. More importantly, they needed the command codes and strategic plans that would be stored in the facility's secure databases. Your temporary home, Zextal announced as they reached a high-security cell. The energy barrier hummed to life behind her as she was pushed inside. We'll begin your interrogation soon enough. Perhaps you'll be more cooperative than the last human we questioned. Maya sat on the simple bed platform, maintaining her mask of resigned defeat. I'm just a soldier, she said quietly. I don't know anything important. We'll see. Zextal's mandibles clicked again as he turned away. We always learn the truth in the end. Yes, Maya thought as the guards departed, you will learn the truth, just not the way you expect. She closed her eyes, appearing to rest while her enhanced senses mapped the cell's security systems. The energy barrier operated on a rotating frequency, difficult to breach, but not impossible. The motion sensors in the corners were basic models, easily fooled. Even the neural dampeners they'd installed to prevent prisoners from accessing implants were outdated by human standards. Maya began the slow process of interfacing with her hidden systems, careful to avoid detection. Her quantum mesh connected to microscopic transmitters in her bloodstream, allowing her to scan deeper into the facility's infrastructure. Layer by layer, she built a complete picture of her prison's security network. The guards changed shifts every 6 hours. The patrol patterns were precise, almost mechanical in their regularity. Maya noted the slight power fluctuations that indicated when the facility's main reactor was under highest strain. Every piece of information was another tool, another potential advantage. She thought about the real Captain Maya Chen, whose identity she'd borrowed for this mission. The real Maya was safely hidden on Earth, her record carefully modified to support this operation. Few knew who Maya really was, one of Earth's most effective deep-cover operatives, a ghost who specialized in infiltrating the most secure facilities in known space. The Vesperins thought they'd caught a simple soldier. Instead, they'd just given one of humanity's deadliest agents exactly what she wanted: access to their most closely guarded secrets. Maya allowed herself a small smile in the privacy of her cell. The hard part was over. She was inside. Now the real work could begin. The Vesperans would learn, as so many others had before them, that underestimating humans was a potentially fatal mistake. They saw humans as physically weaker, technologically inferior. They didn't understand that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in their muscles or their weapons. It was in their minds, their adaptability, their absolute refusal to accept defeat. Maya settled into a meditation pose, appearing to doze while her enhanced systems continued mapping and analyzing. In the coming days, she would play the role of the broken prisoner, giving up small pieces of carefully crafted misinformation, all while she worked to uncover the proof humanity needed and steal the strategic data that could turn the tide of the coming war. The guards walked past her cell, mandibles clicking in their alien language. Maya kept her breathing slow and steady, the picture of defeated resignation. Let them think they'd won. Let them believe she was just another failed soldier in their pristine prison. They would learn the truth soon enough. 5 days into her captivity, Maya sat motionless in her cell as heavy footsteps approached. She didn't need to look up to know it was High Inquisitor Zextal. His distinct gait had become familiar, the slight drag in his left leg suggesting an old injury. "Your intelligence services must be getting desperate," Zextal said, deactivating the energy barrier. "Sending someone so inadequate." His mandibles clicked in what passed for a smile among his kind. Maya allowed herself to be led to the interrogation chamber, her enhanced senses mapping new sections of the facility. The quantum mesh in her brain processed everything: guard rotations, security protocols, the subtle variations in power distribution that revealed hidden systems. The interrogation room was austere, dominated by a neural interface chair designed to extract information directly from a prisoner's mind. Maya noticed the slight wear on the restraints, the faint discoloration on the metal, signs of frequent use. She didn't resist as they secured her in place. "Last chance to cooperate voluntarily," Zextal offered, adjusting the neural probes. "Your precious Earth force isn't worth dying for." Maya met his compound eyes. "You're right," she said softly. "It isn't." Confusion flickered across Zextal's alien features before he activated the interface. Maya felt the system attempting to breach her consciousness, probing for information. What the Vesperans didn't know was that her quantum mesh wasn't just a defensive system. It was actively gathering data from their network through the neural connection. She fed the interface carefully crafted memories, training exercises, routine patrols, nothing of real value. All while her enhanced systems slipped through their security, following digital pathways deeper into the facility's classified networks. "Interesting," Zextal muttered, studying the readouts. "Your mental resistance is unusual for a human." His mandibles twitched with suspicion. Maya let tears well up in her eyes. "Please, I told you everything I know." The High Inquisitor increased the interface's power. Maya genuinely grimaced. The neural probe was uncomfortable, even with her protections. But discomfort was an acceptable price for what she was discovering. Hidden beneath layers of security, she found what she'd been searching for: proof of the coming invasion. Fleet movements, staging areas, detailed analysis of human defensive capabilities. The Vesperans had been planning this for years, but there was something else, something unexpected. References to a project called Starbreaker buried in heavily encrypted files. Maya dedicated a portion of her quantum mesh to decoding them while maintaining her facade of resistance. "Enough for today," Zextal announced, powering down the interface. "You're stronger than you look, human, but everyone breaks eventually." Back in her cell, Maya processed her discoveries. The invasion plans were valuable, but this Project Starbreaker worried her. The fragments she decoded suggested something massive in scale, something that went beyond conventional warfare. She had to work faster. Her enhanced systems had already compromised several secondary security networks. In 2 more days, she'd have access to the facility's primary controls. But she couldn't shake the feeling that she was missing something critical. That night, as the facility's power cycled to its night phase configuration, Maya detected an anomaly. Deep beneath the prison levels, massive energy readings suggested some kind of experimental facility. The power requirements were staggering, far beyond what a detention center should need. She redirected her surveillance systems, trying to pierce the layers of security surrounding the lower levels. The quantum mesh processed fragments of data, gravitational distortion readings, tachyon particle measurements, terms that suggested the Vesperans were experimenting with something dangerous. A sudden commotion outside her cell drew her attention. Two guards rushed past, their chitinous armor clattering. Maya enhanced her hearing, catching fragments of their conversation. Something about a containment breach in the lower levels, an experiment gone wrong. She allowed herself a small smile. Chaos was an opportunity, and she'd just found her way into the facility's most classified section. The Vesperans were hiding something big, something they thought would give them an insurmountable advantage over humanity. They hadn't learned the most important lesson about humans yet. The more impossible the odds, the more determined they became to overcome them. Maya began recalibrating her plans, preparing to delve into the heart of Project Starbreaker. The facility's secrets wouldn't stay hidden much longer, and when they were revealed, the Vesperans would realize too late that they'd given their greatest enemy exactly what she needed to ensure their defeat. The containment breach in the lower levels provided exactly the distraction Maya needed. As alarms blared throughout the facility, her quantum mesh infiltrated security systems that had been previously locked down. What she discovered sent a chill through her enhanced nervous system. Project Starbreaker wasn't just a weapon. It was an attempt to artificially create and control a quantum singularity. The Vesperans weren't planning a conventional invasion. They intended to hold entire human worlds hostage with portable black holes, demanding surrender or annihilation. Maya was processing this information when her cell's energy barrier suddenly deactivated. High Inquisitor Zextal stood in the doorway, his normally iridescent scales dark with rage. Behind him stood 4 elite guards, their weapons primed. Maya Chen, Zextal's voice was deadly quiet. Or should I say Agent Shadow. He held up a data tablet showing her true identity file, the one that should have been impossible to access. The most infamous human infiltrator in the sector. I must admit, we were blind. Maya stood slowly, dropping her prisoner facade. No point maintaining it now. You should have better security on your quantum encryption networks. She smiled. Though I suppose I should thank you for finally giving me access to the lower levels. Zextal's mandibles clicked furiously. You have no idea what you've done. The containment breach. That was you. A necessary distraction. Maya's quantum mesh was still working, downloading everything it could about Project Starbreaker. Though I have to say, artificially created black holes. That's ambitious, even for the Vesperan Empire. Shoot her, Zextal ordered. Maximum setting. Maya was moving before he finished speaking. Her neural enhancements kicked in, accelerating her perception of time. She ducked under the first energy blast, her hand snapping up to catch the second guard's weapon. In the same fluid motion, she used his larger body as a shield against his companion's fire. The quantum mesh interfaced with the captured weapon instantly, overriding its security protocols. 2 precise shots dropped the remaining guards before they could adjust their aim. Zextal backed away, reaching for his own weapon. Don't, Maya warned, training the rifle on him. You've already lost, Inquisitor. Everything about Project Starbreaker, the invasion plans, the quantum singularity research, it's already been transmitted to my handlers. Impossible, Zextal hissed. Our security was designed to stop conventional infiltration attempts. Maya finished. You never considered that humans might have developed quantum neural technology to match or exceed your own. That's always been your weakness, underestimating us. Warning klaxons changed pitch, indicating a facility-wide lockdown. Maya's enhanced hearing picked up the sound of heavy reinforcements approaching. But she wasn't worried. Everything was proceeding according to the real plan. You're still trapped, Zextal said, mandibles twitching in what might have been triumph. One operative, even one as enhanced as you, cannot escape this facility. Maya laughed. Who said anything about escaping? She accessed her quantum mesh's command functions. Throughout the facility, security systems began to fail. Doors sealed randomly, trapping security teams. Communication networks crashed. I'm not trying to escape, Inquisitor. I'm taking control. Understanding dawned in Zextal's compound eyes. The neural interface during interrogation. You weren't just resisting. You were uploading a quantum virus into your systems. Yes. Maya checked the facility schematics, now flooding her enhanced vision. Did you really think Earth would send its best operative just to gather intelligence? This entire facility is now under my control. The lights flickered as primary power shifted to emergency protocols. Maya could sense the chaos spreading through the facility as her virus corrupted system after system. But more importantly, she could feel the quantum signatures from the lower levels destabilizing. You don't understand what you're doing. Zextal's voice held real fear now. The containment fields around the singularity prototypes are being systematically disabled. Maya confirmed, along with all research data being wiped from your networks. Project Starbreaker dies today. She felt almost sorry for the Inquisitor as realization crushed his arrogance. The Vesperans had thought themselves so superior, so untouchable in their technological fortress. They never imagined that humans had not only caught up to their level of advancement, but had surpassed it in ways they couldn't comprehend. Now, Maya said, her quantum mesh interfacing with the facility's communication system, let's discuss surrender terms, unless you want to see what happens when those containment fields fail completely. The real work was just beginning. But Maya had accomplished her primary mission. The Vesperan Empire's secret weapon was exposed, and their invasion plans were in ruins. More importantly, they had learned a costly lesson about underestimating humanity's capabilities. She watched as Zextal's mandibles drooped in defeat and allowed herself a small smile. The next phase would be even more interesting. Deep in the facility's command center, Maya worked with enhanced speed, her quantum mesh processing multiple systems simultaneously. The artificial singularity prototypes were becoming increasingly unstable, their containment fields flickering as her virus continued its work. All personnel have been evacuated from the lower levels, she announced to Zextal, who sat bound nearby. I'm not interested in unnecessary casualties. Mercy, the Inquisitor spat. Another human weakness. No, Maya corrected, her fingers dancing across holographic interfaces. Intelligence. Dead martyrs inspire resistance. Survivors who've witnessed defeat inspire surrender. Warning signals flashed across her enhanced vision as the facility's quantum sensors detected a massive Vesperan fleet dropping out of hyperspace. Right on schedule. She pulled up the external feeds, showing dozens of warships moving into attack formation. Your reinforcements, I assume. Maya didn't look away from her work. Here to prevent the loss of your secret weapon. Zextal's mandibles clicked in what might have been satisfaction. You may control this facility, Agent Shadow, but you cannot stand against an entire battle fleet. Surrender now, and perhaps. The rest of his sentence was cut off as new alerts lit up the command center. Maya allowed herself a predator's smile as additional quantum signatures appeared in the system. The Vesperan ships were suddenly surrounded by emerging human vessels, the real reason she'd allowed her cover to be blown. Tactical superiority isn't about having the biggest fleet, Maya explained, watching the Vesperan commanders realize they'd been drawn into a trap. It's about making your enemy commit their forces exactly where you want them. She opened a channel to the human flagship. Admiral Chen, the facility is secure. Project Starbreaker has been neutralized, and their invasion plans are in our possession. Well done, Agent, her sister's voice came through clearly. The Vesperan fleet is standing down. They seem to have lost their appetite for battle. Maya turned to Zextal, whose scales had paled considerably. You're wondering how we knew to be here. How we managed to coordinate such a precise response. She tapped her temple. Quantum entanglement communications. No signals to intercept, no transmissions to detect. Just another technology you thought we were too primitive to develop. The facility shuddered as the last containment field around the Singularity prototypes began to fail. Maya's enhanced systems worked rapidly, initiating emergency protocols she discovered buried in the research data. Your scientists were brilliant, she admitted, watching the quantum readings stabilize. They just never considered the ethical implications of their work. Humanity learned that lesson centuries ago, after our own brush with self-destruction. Through the command center's windows, she could see the Vesperan fleet powering down their weapons as human ships moved to surround them. Years of planning, months of preparation, all leading to this moment. The interesting thing about quantum singularities, Maya continued, almost conversationally, is that they can be used for more than weapons. Your own research proved that. They could revolutionize space travel, solve energy crises across the galaxy. She paused, letting her words sink in. That's what we'll do with this technology. Share it, regulate it, use it to benefit all species. You would give away such power. Zextal's confusion was genuine. No, Maya corrected. We'll manage it responsibly through a coalition of races, including the Vesperans, if your people are willing to move past their dreams of conquest. She stood, her work complete. The facility's systems were fully under control, the prototypes safely contained, and the research data secured. Outside, shuttles were already docking as human scientists and diplomats arrived to begin the transition. Your empire thought this facility would be the key to dominating humanity, Maya said to Zextal. Instead, it's become the foundation for something far more important, proof that cooperation is stronger than conquest. The Inquisitor's only response was silence, but Maya could see the growing understanding in his compound eyes. The Vesperans had built this facility to cage humanity's spirit. They never expected it to become the catalyst for a fundamental change in galactic politics. Maya's quantum mesh registered the arrival of the diplomatic teams. The real work, the complex process of turning this crisis into an opportunity for peace, was about to begin. But first, she had one more message to deliver. Remember this day, she told Zextal as human security officers arrived to take him into custody. Remember what happened when you thought you could cage humanity's potential. We're not just survivors, Inquisitor. We're innovators, and we're just getting started. 3 months after the takeover of the Vesperan detention facility, Maya stood before the Galactic Council, her quantum mesh processing the reactions of 24 alien species as she presented her report. The massive chamber was silent save for her voice and the soft hum of translation fields. Project Starbreaker represented more than just a weapons program, she explained, projecting holographic data through her neural interface. It demonstrated both the greatest potential and greatest danger of quantum singularity technology. What the Vesperan Empire intended as a tool of conquest has instead become the cornerstone of a new era of cooperation. In the diplomatic gallery, she noted former High Inquisitor Zextal among the Vesperan delegation. His scales had regained their iridescent sheen, though his posture was markedly different from their first meeting. The arrogance had been replaced by something approaching wisdom. The Joint Research Initiative has already yielded significant breakthroughs, Maya continued. Controlled quantum singularities are revolutionizing everything from space travel to energy production. But more importantly, the project has proven that different species working together can achieve far more than any empire acting alone. She brought up new projections, showing the network of quantum gates being established throughout known space. What had started as a weapon of mass destruction was transforming into an interstellar highway system, connecting civilizations that had once been months or years apart. Humanity's role in this initiative isn't to control or dominate, Maya emphasized, her enhanced senses detecting subtle shifts in the Council's collective mood. Our experience with quantum neural technology made us uniquely suited to prevent disaster and guide development. But the future of this technology belongs to all species. The chamber's quantum fields rippled as council members began their deliberations. Maya's mesh captured fragments of discussion in a dozen alien languages. Praise for human ingenuity mixed with lingering concerns about their rapid technological advancement. Some have questioned whether humanity can be trusted with such power, she acknowledged. After all, we hid our true capabilities for years, developing technologies in secret that matched or exceeded those of older civilizations. But consider this. We didn't use that advantage to conquer or subjugate. We used it to prevent war and foster cooperation. She gestured to Zextal. The former High Inquisitor can confirm that even when we took control of the facility, even when we had their fleet at our mercy, we chose diplomacy over domination. That's the true measure of a species' advancement, not their technological capabilities, but how they choose to use them. The council chambers hummed with increased activity as her words sank in. Maya's quantum mesh registered the shift in neural patterns among the assembled delegates. Understanding, acceptance, and something new, respect. The Vesperan Empire thought they could cage humanity's potential, she concluded. Instead, they helped unlock it, not just for humans, but for all species. That's the paradox that defines us. The more you try to contain humanity, the more we expand. The harder you try to suppress us, the stronger we become. As the Council moved to vote on formally recognizing the Quantum Singularity Initiative, Maya caught Zextal's eye. The former Inquisitor inclined his head slightly, a gesture of acknowledgement between former enemies who had found common ground. Agent Shadow. He approached her after the session concluded. You once told me that cooperation was stronger than conquest. I didn't believe you then. And now? Maya asked, though her enhanced senses had already detected the change in his neural patterns. Now I understand what makes humans truly dangerous, he said. Not your technology or your adaptability, but your capacity to turn enemies into allies, to transform threats into opportunities. Maya smiled. That's not just a human trait, Inquisitor. It's the potential in all intelligent life, the ability to learn, to grow, to move beyond our limitations. She gestured to the bustling council chamber. Look around you. A few months ago, this level of cooperation would have seemed impossible. And what happens next? Zextal asked. What new surprises does humanity have in store? That's the best part, Maya replied, her quantum mesh already processing new possibilities, new frontiers to explore. We don't know, but we'll discover it together. As she left the council chambers, Maya reflected on how far they'd come from that first day in the detention facility. The Vesperans had tried to cage humanity's potential, never realizing that in doing so, they would help unleash it across the galaxy. It wasn't just a victory for Earth, or even for the concept of cooperation over conflict. It was proof that the greatest power in the universe wasn't technology or weapons, or even quantum singularities. It was the ability to imagine something better, and the determination to make it real.